Good morning, Nigeria, and welcome to another fresh episode of Ways Breakfast. Hashtag what are you saying? It's already Thursday. The week is running so fast, but we're still here serving you content that really matter to every one of us. Today is Thursday, which means that the table is open to the ladies and I. But today, the lady vibe and I. Good morning, God's beauty. How are you doing?
I'm beautiful. How are you?
Did you
Good
feel my rhyme?
morning.
It was so spontaneous.
I love it.
The lady vibe and I.
Come
I mean,
on.
that's her other name, and that's what we
It's not
call
my
her.
other
Yeah.
name.
I be your major name. Is that the major?
So God's Beauty is a name for professional setting.
Okay.
Entertainment setting is the lady
The
vibe.
lady vibe.
So, yeah.
What would I call myself now? My name is very Kong. Oluchuku.
I mean, Luchi.
Luchi, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
Luchi
she's giving me a
Spades.
nickname, Luchi Spades.
What be your name? It's in our nickname.
Let us form now. Can't we form on this
Yeah,
table?
no vex. I just gave her the name. Oh my God.
Oh my God. But how are you doing? Though the week is running. Usually, I always feel like when the week is running, right? I want to say something. It skipped my mind. Sorry about that. So this week, yeah, it is going very fast, but I still feel like it is slow. That's what I wanted to say. Do you get it? Like
okay.
I have been so engaged with a lot of things. Normally, if it's other weeks, I'm like, oh, Friday is already here.
I mean,
But now I know it's running fast, but I'm like, can the Friday already come? Do you get the vibe?
I feel you.
So that's how it is. So how's yours been though?
Well, I mean, so I think I'm more like the opposite side because I was just thinking today that, today is Thursday right now, and tomorrow is Friday, like I'm going home. It just feels like, okay, I just came in to get what I mean. Because I feel like, okay, yesterday was just Sunday, and I just finished ministering.
Okay.
Exactly. So it feels like, probably because I've been like everywhere, because I have like a couple of stuff to do, you know. So I mean, I just almost backed on. I think it's...
So how's your copywriting stuff coming along? I think
Hey.
we're already bonding more. Like we've been on this table
So it's on
for
Monday,
the
right?
longest. So I already know
Oh my
everything
God.
happening in your life, the whole copyright.
I
Let me
mean,
keep up now. How
no,
has it been?
it's good. Like, you know, I was telling you that, you know, the fee for like having to, you know, get the course on copywriting is quite hard. Like,
Outrageous.
yeah, the price is pricing. So I think I spoke to someone yesterday.
Okay.
He just is done with the whole copyright thing. So I think I want to learn from him instead of having to get and learn from. I mean,
That
it
is a very
just makes sense.
calm
No,
approach.
that's how I do things actually. Like, honestly
But do you
speaking.
think it will be very effective?
It will be.
100%. Because you're
Again,
learning from
it
somebody who
depends.
just learned.
Yeah, so the thing is, one thing with me is, okay, now I would say I consider myself as a creative person because I don't need to. It's just like when I hear people say, oh, I went to study mass comm and all of that. This is not shades, but I would prefer to actually learn from someone that already went to study the whole 4 years, whatever. And trust me when I say I'll do well more than you. It's just intentionality. Do you get what I'm saying? So I learned from you, learn from this one, learn from this one. I mean, just which day I was having a conversation with someone, and the person was like, oh, okay, because we see this one, and do this one. And I think it should just be like this. And I'm like, okay, thank you. But trust me, what the person is already saying, I already knew that before you come to tell me. So it's intentionality. Where I am today, even in screenwriting now, right?
Yeah.
There was a time where I used to write my script. Like, there's a way I used to put my script. I know the normal format, but I would prefer to just put it like that because I feel like it's easier to read. It's easy to understand, right? So what happens to my clientele now is, like, my client. I now speak to you. How do you want your script to be? There are people that don't like it in the normal professional way that it should be. Do you get what I'm saying? They prefer it in my own way, my own style, actually. But again, if I have new people today, right, that say, oh, Gospel, I need you to help me write this script and all. I'll ask you, auntie, how do you want the script to be? Do you want it to be in it? Because I remember having a conversation with someone, basically like, oh, I didn't know you write script. I'm like, okay, I'm not supposed to go and carry a mic and be telling everybody. Do you get what I'm saying? And
I think you are supposed to in this world that we're
no,
in.
so I think it's of recent I started doing it, to be honest. I feel like I'm okay with the people I already have in my space. I have people that I work with, like, every time. We have meetings, you tell me what the script is like and all of that. So I feel like I was okay with that. And the fact that I don't have, like, the necessary resources that would help me get more people. Like I was telling you, like, having a laptop is one big challenge that I have. I have other challenges, yeah. But the fact that, you know, I just have 4 or 5 people that I'm writing script for, I'm okay with them. If I have extra people, get the laptop, I don't have, like, that's like the major factor that I'm supposed to be. So, because of that, I want to just have, like, certain people that I know that, okay, these are the people I'm working for every month, or like probably in 3 months I've dropped the script for you and you work it, you view it, it makes sense. Just send me my money and I'm okay with that. Do you get what I'm saying?
give me
But
my money.
but having to get like other people, it will require me. I mean, I also have 9 to 5. Do you get what I'm saying? And this one that we are doing too. So it's an extra job for me. I'm not working based on my strength.
Yeah.
Do you get? So yeah.
That's very interesting. Thank you for filling me with what's going on
It's
in your
enough
life. Don't
feeling.
worry.
Tell me what is
there is
going
nothing
on in your life.
significantly going on except for the fact that this national grid is not doing me well. I'm hearing that they are distributing it and some places have light.
But
I
I think
had.
we should say there's a good news now. Davido's father said he has power plants now. He's able to get the. No, why are you laughing? I understand it might be a private whatever, but it's just like a Dangote, yeah? I was having a conversation
so it's
with
supposed
someone.
to like replace whatever.
I'm not
brought
saying
the
it's a
national
replace.
grid
So me,
issue.
I don't know exactly what his plan is. But
Okay,
the
he
fact
just
that he
announced
too,
it.
yeah, you know, it was a testimony he was given actually. So the
Oh.
fact that he has come out to say that, oh, this is something he has been working on and that he has the license and all. So I mean, if people that have issues with light and all of that, I think you can probably tell the government, bro, I don't need you guys again, since we have like,
my dear
the
sister,
Adelekes now.
There's really nothing going on until the fact that I wake up every morning and see that there's no light in my house. But it's fine. All right, if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube page, please go to our official Upgrade TV, turn on the subscribe button, your notification, be part of our conversations every time. Today we're discussing the rise of social activism in Nigeria. And it's not a new discussion, but we want to explore this even more. We'll take a short break now. When we return, look at the headlines across the Nigerian newspapers. So stay with us. We'll be right back shortly.
Imagine the world where the voices of the youth finally get the spotlight they deserve.
Welcome to Ways Breakfast, the groundbreaking show where young minds unite together to tackle issues that truly matter.
We're flipping the script on traditional morning talk shows, and this is your chance to hear the youth speak out.
We're not just skimming headlines, we're diving deep into the heart of topics that impact us all.
From politics to governance, tech innovations, mental health, and trendy social issues.
We don't just discuss, we ignite conversations that inspire change and spark action.
Join us every morning for fresh, young, and vibrant perspectives
that empowers the next generation to make a difference.
Start your day right with Ways Breakfast, because when the youth speak, the world listens. Ways Breakfast, weekdays at 8 a.m. live on Upgrade TV. Welcome back, viewers, and thank you for staying with us. It's a cool Thursday morning, and so the vibe here is all cool, but we still give you the hot gist that we have. But before that, let's look at the headlines making waves across the Nigerian newspapers, starting with The Punch, The Guardian, and of course, The New York Times. For The Punch, the major headline reads, fuel price hike. Reps. I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong paper. I'd go back to read The Punch. All right, fuel price hike. Reps warned of unrest as federal government labor meeting deadlocked. Government plans fresh meeting with union leaders as reps demand petrol price review. CBN SEC sanctions 10 banks for forex violation. PDP may postpone NEC meetings and governors plot Damagum's exit. Nigeria's high interest rates will stay for long, says World Bank. NNPC still sold Dangote petrol buyer, says marketers. Very tragic story. It says tears as Jigawa buries 153 tanker explosion victims. Trucks burnt in Ogun. 25% of development levy for student loan, says federal government. Ogun communities residents relocate as flood water rises, and naira weakens to $1,705 dollar per dollar, right? And at parallel market. The news for this sponge paper is disheartening. Like, for every sector, there is just one bad news that's happened, from the finance sector to film to the education to rural areas. The one that is really disheartening is this tanker explosion. I think I did see some videos online yesterday, and the story I read, okay, let me just show you the story that I found out for it. It was so terrible. We really need to start praying for our country, because what's this recurrent bad news that we're hearing? So it says a fuel tanker overturned late on Tuesday in Nigeria's northern state of Jigawa after the driver lost control of the vehicle, spilling petrol which exploded and killed at least 147 people. Police and state emergencies said on Wednesday, and the accident is one of the worst in recent times in Africa's most populous nation. Let me tell you how it happened, which is the one. I don't know if the story is so true, because there are different versions of story, but this is the one I got. It says Haruna Mariga, head of Jigawa State Emergency Services, put the death toll from the accident at 147. We hear some say 153. Local police spokesperson Lawal Shizu Adam said that the tanker was traveling from the ancient city of Kano to Yobe State in the north when the driver lost control somewhere, causing it to overturn and spill fuel. It said that villagers attempted to scoop petrol from the spillage, resulting in a fire that engulfed the area. So you can see how it happened. Fuel was spilled, and people were trying to get fuel that they don't even have in the country. This is not nice at all. I mean, we can talk about the whole fuel story, but losing 147 lives, pegged
That's
at
a whole
153 in
lot.
some other reports, that's a whole lot. That's like a community of people that have been lost. They did a mass burial for them, I think yesterday, being Wednesday. And honestly, we have to be safe in this country. You know that there are lots of things happening to us already, economically, health-wise, financially, governmentally. But please, if you can be safe, please be safe. But I don't know. I really don't know what to say again about this story. It's already so tragic. When I saw the punch paper, maybe I was mistaking it for the other one. That's why I said I was reading the wrong one. It's so every headline I'm reading, maybe at this point to start checking the body of the newspaper. Maybe there are good ones hidden in it, because this is so disheartening.
Yeah, I
Let's see if
agree.
the New York Times is better before we come back to Nigeria.
It's not even looking better, to be honest. All right, but the left side of the newspaper, we have tweets rise, puts Trump loyalists in the spotlight. Bluster marks lack of experience, Ford says. But the right side of the newspaper, United States tells Israel to increase flow of relief to Gaza. Military aid at risk. Netanyahu promises not to strike Iran nuclear or oil sites now. Middle of the newspaper, Trump's idea for the border slim on the tail. Next, that's Lebanon hotels buckle amid onslaught. Bottom of the newspaper, with $1 billion US in Harris coffers, it's not easy to appeal for more. Next to that, which is the last headline on the newspaper, says she thought of harming her baby. Doctors kept them together, and that's the one I want to touch on quickly. So Alexandra, after giving birth, developed a severe mental health condition called postpartum psychosis. This illness caused her to see things that weren't real, like cockroaches, spiders, and made her believe the devil was in the room.
Wow.
That's the delulu in the highest form. And it says it even got so bad that she felt like she might hurt herself. One day, her husband had to call for help and stop her from grabbing a knife. She was taken to a special hospital, where doctors treated her for 6 months. Despite her illness, the doctors believed that it was important for her to stay close to her baby during this time as part of her healing process. This approach helps maintain the mother-child bond while getting the treatment she needed. Honestly, when I saw the story, it's quite disheartening, because, I mean, and when I was checking the statistics, it really doesn't, it's not like something that happens very frequent. I mean, in 1,000 women that give birth, just 1 or 2 that it happens to. And I was just checking.
Is it the same
where
thing,
exactly,
PTSD?
No,
Okay,
that's
it's
quite
another,
different.
oh.
Yeah. And I was checking what exactly, goes around. So it might be a genetic factor, biological changes, or sleep, lack of sleep and all of that. But I just hope that, I like the fact that she's getting, the treatment that she needs, because, I really, I was speaking to you yesterday that, I mean, there are certain things that happen to us here in Africa, but because of we don't have the name for it, we probably would just tag it to maybe witchcraft, somebody in the village or something. But the fact that, outside the country, once something happens, they have a name for it. They know that, okay, this definitely has, caused by something. But again, apart from this whole genetic factor, the biological changes is just a bit shaky. And again, lack of sleep. Tell me how lack of sleep should be causing this kind of thing. But again, I just...
another side of this story is this. I think when I was listening to what you were saying, the doctor told her to be closer to her baby.
Yeah.
So apparently she was trying to instill harm only on herself and not the baby.
No, both the baby.
Both the baby. Because I've read other stories where, like, their babies become plague to them. It becomes so irritating. That's what I was asking. Is it PTSD? There was one movie I was watching recently where I think this it's non-fiction, right? Or is it fiction now? So the organization had to take a woman to court because she attempted to kill her baby. She felt like the baby was irritating to her. She just had the baby. And then, of course, trust mental health people to give a name to it. So if you use that disease in court, you probably get some allowances or something like that. So I'm like, there are really crazy sicknesses in this world, though, beyond the malaria and typhoid and all. And
someone that just finished giving birth, there's supposed to be this joy and happiness.
Maybe there's a trigger that happens in their brain. Maybe something just turns.
I think that's what
causes them to see things differently.
Yeah, because now you are hallucinating. You are in Dululu, thinking that devil is in the room. Come on now. I just thank God that she's getting the treatment that she
deserves. All right, let me quickly read through the Guardian newspaper, and then we'll call it a wrap on the headline stories. The major headline reads: Opposition in disarray as internal crisis battle PDP LP NNPP. Revert to old petrol price. Reps tells presidency. Senate probes impeachment rumor as presidency declares no leadership vacuum. Nigeria lost 629 MT of crops to flooding in 2024, says FAO. You need consistent policies to attract foreign capital, JP Morgan tells Nigeria. 40 CSOs seek dismissal of governor's suit against AFCC and NFIU. Rivers lawmakers factions insist INEC must conduct by-election. And that's what we have for The Guardian. If any of it catches your interest, head to their website and check it out. We'll take a short break now. And when we return, we'll start the hot topic that we have for today, the rise of social activism. Remember, we're currently live across all our social media platforms, so you can reach us there, send your own comments, your own contribution, and we'll most likely read them out. Let's take a short break and be back shortly. Welcome back, viewers, and thank you for staying with us. Today, we're discussing the rise of social activism in Nigeria. I'd read the background introduction I have here. In recent years, social activism has surged in Nigeria, reflecting a broader global trend where citizens increasingly engage in movement advocating for social justice, equality, and human rights. And this rise can be traced back to various catalysts, including political corruption, police brutality, economic disparities, and the impacts of climate change. High-profile movements such as the hashtag #EndSARS, which protested against police brutality and systemic injustice, have mobilized thousands, especially among youth who leverage social media to amplify their voices. Beyond Nigeria, similar waves of activism are reshaping societies, challenging authorities, and demanding accountability. So today's discussion will explore the dynamics of social activism in Nigeria and its global parallels, examining its challenges, successes, and implications for the future. So yeah, God's beauty, this is what I want to discuss today. And I remember we've had this discussion, I think it was July. It was July. I think Ukiki was here when we were discussing social activism. And I think it was towards that period they were doing the end bad governance thing. And we know that in Nigeria, one major protests that really brought out the social activism will be the #EndSARS.
Yes,
the #EndSARS was, it was not just local, it was international. We had people who were abroad, Nigerians in diaspora, even some foreign celebrities actually comment. I think there was one tweet I read one time. I don't know whether it was Rihanna that was commenting or doing something, but all these foreign celebrities were fully involved. And why did they get that involved? Because we saw that it was all over social media. Twitter was a very terrible space to be at that time, because you not just see people that are trying to be loud about their claims, but you also see very gory sites. Do you understand? And it was so loud. Everybody was speaking about it. I mean, I'm sure people that didn't even have phones, I mean, older people that don't even have phones or are not on social media would know what is going on. So it was that loud. And of course, we've seen it progress. In fact, I even realized that there was the Chibok girls that were kidnapped at that time. I think there was also this hashtag activism for them as well, and bring back our girls thing. I mean, Black Lives Matter. That time that somebody, I've forgotten this man's name, the black man that was allegedly killed by a policeman. Do you remember that story? It's not I think it's in the United States that it happened. He was killed by a policeman, something like that. So, I mean, the whole Black Lives... You can't remember the story? I wish I can remember this man's name. Please, if you do, let's know in the comment section. So, Black Lives Matter started. If we trace it back, social media activism seems to be on the high rise. People are now resorting to their phones, to the power of the hashtag, to Twitter especially, to Instagram, to make our government accountable and to cause changes in certain areas. So now let's start the discussion from, let's analyze it. How do you think social media has influenced the effectiveness of activism in Nigeria?
I think it has actually just made it probably more aware. So it has created that avenue for awareness, right? Now, let's start from the fact that, I mean, before #EndSARS and all of that, we've always been seeing, like, all the, rigging and all of it. It's not like it doesn't still happen, right? But, I mean, we are not... I won't say we citizens of Nigeria don't know that, but we are just a bit less concerned, right? Not until we felt like, okay, there's this man that we'll probably see as a messiah, and we felt like, okay, he's going to really help, and all of that. I think there's even there's a story online that I saw yesterday where they had, I think it's in one of the northern states like that, they had issues and there was a bit of casualties and all of that, only for Peter Obi to step down and come to them. Everywhere. I mean, there was, like, I think traffic and all of that. There was no movement. They had issues. I think there was a trailer there that was spoiled or something. But only for Peter Obi to just show face, everybody started maintaining their lane. Everybody said, there was not this guidance. Oh, Peter Obi is here. Oh yeah, arrange everywhere. You carry your bus and go like this. You carry your bus and go like this. Unlike, I mean, if he wasn't there, I imagine that that place would have still been the way it is, right? So I think that during the time, Peter Obi came into place, many people saw him as the messiah and all of that. And I mean, after the whole #EndSARS thing, there was just this awareness that, okay, we need to now start start working together. If we keep staying out, if we keep, behaving like we are not seeing these things, we don't know what's going on in the country, it's going to remain like that. I think that's when the youth came into play. But trust me, if there was no social media, there would have been that to get I'm not sure would have gotten it. Do you get what I'm saying? But because of the whole social media thing, there was now this, okay, me, I'm going for Peter Obi. You, what are you going for? What are you going for? And all of that.
That means people were going for a candidate based on the fact that many people were going for that candidate.
Nah, I feel like most people, I feel like there was already this, how do I put that now? So we've seen, let me start with this. I mean, according to many people, right, Peter Obi did well in Anambra State, right? He was their governor and he did very well. And I mean, according to Peter Obi and the slogan, go and check, go and verify. I think
people did verify and they brought out some proofs. Did you check them out?
Some people did. Why some people felt like, nah, look at the man print, look at the footprint. There was just this support and oppose, which is normal. It happens every time.
Yeah,
Do you get what
true.
I'm saying? But I feel like there were people, like we had people that were for Peter Obi during that time than the people that are opposing. Do you get
Because
what I'm
of
saying?
what Twitter.
Exactly. So it just feels like, okay, if let's say even if there are 100 people on Twitter, it felt like 90 people were for Peter Obi. So what are you expecting? And now the fact that, I mean, NSAS has taught us a lesson. So it was more like, okay, let's use this platform that this is where everybody
Obedience.
comes together to talk. It's not like back then that we have a town hall, different from Baba Play. What I am saying is, it's not that time where we will have to knock the gong for everybody to come to the village
together.
square. Do you get? So the village square that we have now is the social media. Where if there's something going wrong, we just use the hashtag. Hashtag revolution now, according to Showeri. But you get what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's what social media has actually helped us with. And you see that togetherness. I mean, honestly speaking, right now, everybody's already preparing mentally for 2027. Let me not talk about VDM parts, but yeah.
We're going to even get to that VDM part, but I like that you started this conversation from the political angle. Look at how this Peter Obi election stuff was in when did we do election?
2023.
Are you serious? Are we in 25 already? This is
I'm not
2024.
serious.
Wow. I thought it was 2022.
No.
That means it's not been long.
It's not to 2 years now.
Interesting. So we have to win. 27.
27.
All right. So, I mean, look at the whole election thing. The thing is still shocking me, even till date, how that with the whole noise that happened on Twitter or in Twitter, whatever you call it now, the president that was people's choice, and not people, like some people's choices didn't get into power. So it makes me now question the effectiveness of this social media activism or the hashtag, power of the hashtag. Is it really so effective? But it's just another way we make noise as
It's an
people.
noise.
No, let's be very honest, because I think there was one time we were also discussing the fact that, see, this protest thing doesn't work. Has not been working for too long. If something is not working for too long, why are we still
You find
going?
better mechanisms.
Better mechanisms. We discuss those better mechanisms. That I don't have any. I think the only mechanism is to go and be praying
I
to
know,
your
no,
God
I
right
keep
now.
saying this. That particular thing they did to our honorable Senate president, that can be initiated. That's a good mechanism.
In which country?
In this country.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm
Speechless.
saying?
No, I don't. I don't understand. I'm trying to get it.
This is not me shading anybody. Nah, nobody should come for me. But I feel like if you want to get, people to do your obedience, right? You should look for their vulnerable spot. What you know that will make them want to do that thing. Now, during the time where, the Senate president said certain things and many people were offended by the things he said, the only thing a blog needed to do was to start bringing out certain things that we didn't know. So we didn't know that our sweetheart was, I'm not calling anybody, I did not say, according to that blog.
Yes.
Allegedly, that's the word. So we heard that so person is part of the people that he sleeps with or flies around or something. But I mean, in less than 24 hours, there was an apology, yes or no. So I feel like what I'm just trying to say in essence is we should be able to look at these our leaders, right? Those people that don't want to do the things the right way. You should probably go and look for the things that you know that will make them want to. You make them now do that thing that you want them to do. It's just like when an armed robber or like somebody needs something from you. The only thing you need to do is to kidnap you. Your family will pay.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm
But
saying.
you know what? I have something with social media. I mean, social media is a place that overplays certain narrative. Do you understand? Like, you really can't control the, is it the validity of the information that you get, how truthful it is. And yet, this is a platform that people are using to now pass or a narrative or create a certain awareness. At a point, you are wondering, is this actually very true? Now, this, you might not agree with this very totally. The Black Lives Matter incident that happened, a friend of mine, we were discussing it, and he showed me a narrative that I did not see. That if you tell some people, they will think that you are anti-Black. And I'm not, because I'm a Black woman, of course, I should be Black lives actually matter. But he was saying that, Precious, do you know that narrative was overplayed? Because, I mean, racism for the longest is any card you can just play and you get people to be emotional, get people to be agitated. Just like today, if a woman is just probably abused in a workspace or something, if she goes online now, nobody will even want to know the full story of what happened. Just play that woman card of we are disadvantaged, of women, they are clinical. You will see the kind of traction that you get. So he was telling me that, do you know that sometimes the narrative can be overplayed? So he was not trying to explain this. I don't know why I can't remember this particular black man that was killed by a white policeman in that sense. So he was saying that the black man, was it like he was drunk or something shall happen, and they just not use that Black Lives Matter narrative to now overplay it beyond what it actually was looking like. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So what I'm trying to say is that sometimes social media is that space that for me personally, because I do not trust the validity of the information that comes out, sometimes I'm wondering, this narrative that you are pushing, who are the people behind this thing ensuring that you are pushing it in this certain way? Because social media is such that once we throw something at your face, we keep throwing it in a certain direction to make you think in a certain way. Are you following me, God's beauty?
Yes, I am.
So that means instead of having a brother, like laying all your facts on the table and having a broader view of everything, you are now very stereotyped. You are one pattern. You're just looking at one way, and that one way is usually the best. So that it makes me question the effectiveness of these things all the time. But of course, I cannot deny the fact that it has helped create awareness. It has helped mobilize. You mentioned unity. It has helped make people be on their feet, and that is something that we've lacked for the longest. We've lacked it for the longest. Somebody on our show once mentioned that it's a country that we do not hold our leaders accountable. We just
You're making them comfortable. I don't.
Well, you can say that now because in recent times it's looking like we are making them uncomfortable. But I think maybe before, how many activists do you know that will come up and question bad governance? How many of them do you know? I mean, look at post-independence. Well, yeah, now let me know now, in case I'm saying what I'm not supposed to say.
See, when you say make them uncomfortable, I don't know if it is the word I have an issue with, or is it that I just don't want to accept it. I'm trying to understand. Do you get what I'm saying? Because the truth is, we've been trying, we've been doing our possible best. Even before the youth came into play, our parents have been complaining. In short, I remember when I was in school, right? There's one time we are done with classes and I was going on with this, like, there's this people that I go on with, right? So I remember having this, they're elderly men and all. I remember having this conversation because we're always dragging. In short, I think that was even before the 2023 election, like when we were looking to, foresee what would happen and all of that. I remember having this conversation and I remember telling them that before now, right, you people, because they're elderly men, I was speaking to them, I said, you people have been complaining about the country, that it's not doing well, it's not doing this. And I remember him complaining about the fact that he's trying to get his voter's card, right? Because I think he's a PO person, so he's trying to get his voter's card, and like the people, the civil servants are just doing everything possible to frustrate his life, and he doesn't know how to go about it, right? And I remember telling him that there's this song called "Everywhere Jaga Jaga, Poor Man Scatter Scatter." That song did not come out today. That song has been in existence for more than a decade now. So you show that they have always been the fight from initials. So when you are telling me,
as loud as it is,
you're not serious. Of course it is. For somebody to sorry, I used the word you're serious.
No, it's okay. Fight me, beat me on the table.
For somebody to go to like what do you call that now? The studio and record that out. You know that he pain and reach bone. So because of, back then there was no social media to make you understand now that, we have always been fighting, but they've always been fighting. They've always been the struggle. They've always been this complaint that nowhere, the country is not looking funny, the economy is not looking funny. So they've always been that fight from time immemorial. Check out what I'm saying. But so for somebody to now wake up one morning and say that we the citizens are making the government comfortable, I don't understand what that means.
But I think we're making them more uncomfortable than we used to. That's my own point.
Well,
that people are more restless now. It has gotten worse compared to the Jaga Jaga period. So in case you were even managing in that period and you were trying to just manage,
difference is there was no social media.
And that's what I'm saying now. So we're not eventually coming at a unilateral point
They
that
will-
the social media has brought the awareness and making people become more restless with the fact that they can now question. That's why some of these people that question these things now, you know, they can do it anonymously and they can avoid certain consequences that comes. But in those days, those activists in those days, didn't know the problem they went through, especially because we had the military system of government. You say one rubbish. I know now there was treason and everything, but then it was worse. So even if you have people that are bold enough to come, it was very calculated because they are trying to reduce the implications that come. So I'm saying that now, we will even trace you. Before you trace me and everything,
trace before.
they are tracing, but people see now too. It's not the same people that have the social media.
I
But let's
mean-
take a short break and we'll return and discuss more things about this. Let's go ahead and take a short break. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. We're still discussing the rise of social activism in Nigeria. We're looking through before the NSAS, pro NSAS, and even till now, how effective has it been? All right, so Godrich, we're discussing the fact that is more prominent now than it used to be, obviously because of the rise of social media. I want to ask, what are the key challenges that most of these activists face? Owing to the fact that in recent time, we heard that from that end bad governance thing, some people were arrested and they were taken to jail.
Yeah.
I think they were...
Some had to leave the country, like the likes of David Udein.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Investigative journalist, right?
Yes.
The name you gave yourself, they will investigate you. But pardon me, though. So it says that, people were being, what's the word? I'm trying to get this. They were sued for treason and all of that. So it shows that this pathway, this new profession of being an activist comes with a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
And we need people to be vocal enough about what we're going through. So is this a profitable pathway? What are the key challenges that most of these people face?
That's the thing, because that's why I actually get pissed whenever anybody comes out and say, let me not say you're saying nonsense, but when you now say that we, the citizens, are making it comfortable for the government, I'm trying to understand where exactly you're coming from. Do you get my point? Because I know for sure that everybody is doing something within their power. Nobody is sitting and just crossing their legs, right? Everybody that has an issue with the government is doing everything possible to ensure that they are thriving. Right? So waking up one morning to now talk down on their efforts and all of that, I feel like that's very insulting.
Are you sure that's what they are trying to do? Or they're
That's
trying to
what it
make
is.
it look like more people should actually join these forces?
There are ways to go about that.
You know, it is easier to
words.
tackle
It is-
people. Look at, if you have a ratio of people that are the loudest on a matter and maybe it's just like 10%, you can easily want to, show power and shut them up compared to when they're 1,000,
thousands.
5,000. So do you think their own contentment is not that we're not talking, is that many people are not doing the talking, it's just some people that are doing the talking?
Then exactly the way you said it is how it should have been said. Not coming out to say that the citizens of Nigeria, people are not making it comfortable. People are making it comfortable for the government. Come on. So what I would say is, the truth is, being an activist in a country like this, where corruption is the order of the day, it's definitely going to be very hard for you.
I'm going to cut your line of thought. I'm now imagining you as an activist. What do you think you would do differently to be able to now drive the change, but be safe as well?
It's to, first of all, travel outside the country.
So you
Let's be
activate
for real.
in that sense?
Yes.
Activate from there.
Hey, I like from this country and go somewhere better then you can now probably have people that can be giving you, good information on what's really happening in the country, right? So the likes of Pidom, we've not heard anything from him. We don't know if he's out. We don't know what's going on with him, right? So it is one thing to say that you want to come out and, come and ginger every other person that, you are patriotic and all of that. But I think, first of all, knowing who you are, knowing the reason for doing it, and that's why I'll keep giving Tuale to a David Udain that understands the nature of his job and still find the value that this thing is very valuable, and that's why I want to do it. Do you get what I'm saying? So all these things, we see, like I said, when you know that, the country that you're in, corruption is the order of the day. It's now finding better mechanisms or better approach. Do you get what I'm saying? Even if you want to come and talk about something or you want to say something, you can use the right word, allegedly.
Actually, because I think that's the problem I have with some activists in Nigeria. I'm not going to mention any name.
Exactly. Look at this lady. Can I remember her name again? One Yoruba lady, she's on Instagram, right? Okay. The way she explains this thing. She tells you
in a very combative manner.
In a very sarcastic manner. She's coming out to tell you that, when she was explaining about, our first lady, right? The first lady, and she's like, what she's doing is she's doing a great job. And the fact that there's a golden statue. And I don't know if you saw that video. I can't remember I can't remember the Oni in particular that did that for her.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's just a lot of things going on. And when she was explaining, she like the only woman that thinks forward. We don't used to have a uniform in Nigeria. But right now we have a uniform to celebrate, our independence. That's 4th October. So that is her being very sarcastic, if you know what I mean, but continuation. So yes, it is just you passing the information in a way that everybody understands it. So if you have brains, you understand.
So that means you can't hold me for something, but I have passed the information that I want to pass.
But what did she say exactly? She just said, let's be frank with ourselves. We didn't have a uniform before now. But now we do have a uniform. That is progress.
Okay.
That is progress.
What are you trying to say?
I don't know that's on you, but that is progress.
But I think that some activists, I don't know. Activism is such that I think the nature of it is not for you to be calm or to be peaceful.
Of course.
The nature of it is
for you to be everywhere,
combative.
but not in the kind of country that you're in.
Then how are we going to now effect the changes that we want? So everybody will just be talking, nobody's seeing or hearing what you're saying.
So that's the thing. I thought people used to use Ghana. I did not say this.
Maybe
probably that Ghana style works, but again, we are not even when we all know what we want. There's no unison. So that Ghana stuff cannot even work. That is not even a solution. So right now,
there's no unison.
There's no unison. Have you forgotten the hunger protest that we had somebody with the banner saying that I can't remember what exactly was in that banner again. But what he's saying with his mouth and what was in the banner are two different things. Well, it was more like, they pay you, take 5,000 naira to be for the government. But what you're saying with your mouth, you are against the government. Do you understand what I'm saying? How can you be holding something that reflects that, everything is going well in the country, but what is coming out of your mouth is, I never chopped since morning.
Interesting.
So that is one person out of the many people that have actually collect funds. I think we heard of the women that went to Abuja or so, that they told them that they should go and they should support the government and they'll give them food and all of that. I think there was a video of them crying and saying that they just dropped them there. They did not feed them. They did not even give them the money they promised them.
Sure.
So that is 1-2 out of many people that we don't know. So in as much as the two of us are always saying that, this government, they need to be like a work on and all of that. Trust me, a lot of people would still want to collect that 5,000 because it's not even their fault. People that are staying under the bridge, both of us have a roof on our head. Do you think those people will listen to you? Even we ourselves, we are still complaining that how much. Even a power grid, we are complaining of this morning. Another person is complaining about the fact that mosquito is finishing his life. So what are we saying here?
One problem I have with social media activism is that there's this short-lived momentum to it. It's almost like, when you have you seen
it's
this?
Passive. It's not active.
It's not even just passive and not active. It's short-lived. Whatever you are trying to propagate to see come to pass in the nation, it's something.
Yesterday I was talking about on Gossip Gala yesterday. I remember saying that. Just 2-3 weeks ago, we're talking about EFCC investigating the EFCC. Nobody knows what's going on with that right now.
EFCC investigating like internal. It's not, the in companies. There's
You did
internal
not get
audit.
the Bobrisky story, the Bobrisky saga, allegedly that the EFCC collected 50 million naira from Bobrisky.
So the another EFCC have now come
Yes,
to
now
say that
EFCC, exactly.
They did it.
And right now, we don't know what's going on with that. So, yeah, allegedly,
FCC that will
allegedly.
catch. Anyways, I'm saying that social media activism has just this. There's this echo chambers. It's so everybody. There's this adrenaline rush. We're all end bad governance, end SARS, whatever, and then it's short-lived and it just dies, and we're not seeing the impact. So even though it feels like this is a promising mechanism to actually effect change, why I have not gotten it. I have to say that there's a hack to this thing that we have not gotten. Because if we look at it internationally, there are countries that have gotten some sort of freedom.
Yeah.
I mean, we've heard of a lot of these stories now. It's not Nelson Mandela and all these activists in international spaces that actually affected the change. But in our own country, it seems that we're just going, we're feeling ourselves on that social media. Because I am not seeing any change. Maybe the only change is that it's getting people more restless. And when people are eventually restless. A lot of people are restless.
The government is restless?
I mean restless. We,
okay.
the citizen. I'm not restless in the name of Jesus.
Can you imagine somebody?
I refuse to be. But a lot of people are restless. And maybe as a result of the too much restlessness will further affect the change. So let's now talk about the activists that should be questioned in Nigeria. Not mentioning names. We'll just talk about when I mean like the form of activism some people put out that actually should be questioned. That is making it look like the whole process is not going to be fruitful in the same place. I mean, don't you think that there are some people that overplay this game?
Tell me the few
on
people.
Gossip Gala now.
Okay.
When I'm going to use VDM for example, I think there was a person you had on your show that was saying that she has been a VDM fan for too long.
Yeah.
But she had a problem. Things personally, you are bringing things that does not concern the investigation that we're talking about, just because you want to probably have more traction or make it look somehow. Now this same person is now. What's the issue?
Do you see? Even I remember when you this thing you're talking about. I remember also questioning her. How can you take a craft out from the artist himself, right? You cannot say that somebody is an activist and the person is fighting for somebody, and you say the person will not take it personally. What makes you an activist in the first place? You have to first of all love what you're doing. You have to first of all take it personally before you even bring it out.
When I mean personally,
let me be very honest with you.
Go ahead.
Why do you think that I have an issue with certain things people have to say? Not because of I am not an activist here, and I'm not against people saying certain things because of I want to, but because of I'm putting myself in the shoes of those people that have worked hard. Right? You cannot tell me that okay. I feel like this is something I've said more than 3 times now. On this particular show. But you cannot say that certain people's efforts are waste because the government are still doing what they are doing. Do you get what I'm saying? Again, I'm not an activist, but I will get pissed if you say something like that because I'm putting myself in the shoes of those people that have worked hard. So you cannot tell me now that somebody that has been an activist is taking things personal. I don't understand what you are saying. I feel like you are saying rubbish, honestly speaking.
Okay, now let me ask you this. A person that is an activist, is angry about certain things that's happened, maybe in a government setting, and then you're not distracted by other information, though it might probably aid the case, but it's not the main cause.
Because
I can't think of one now, which makes me somehow lose this argument. But I know
you cannot win it. Come on.
Okay, because you're a lawyer. For nothing. All right, that's fine. Me, I studied a course that brings people together, not separate them. So that's why I'm going to be amiable on this table. But I think that activism is very combative. We know there's the passion, there's energy, adrenaline level is high, everybody is talking about what's wrong and should be changed. But I think that there should be some style to it. No, I'm not trying to say that you should not become too political, that you cannot mention the really crazy things that are going on. But how about if you have studied your environment, you know the kind of nation that you are working in, you know the things that can turn around to your disadvantage. How about you, like you said, that's a sarcastic person now. That's a smart way of playing activism game.
I mean,
nobody is going to hold her for anything. But as she passed the message,
use the A word.
Allegedly, right? Nobody's going to hold her for anything. Now, this same video that you're talking about, did I not hear that he was the person that went to go and apologize? Did he not apologize?
No.
Yeah, I read something. Am I reading fake news these days? There was something
Fake news these days.
I think he had to like apologize or something. Or maybe he was
So-
asked to do so to the family.
He was asked to do so.
So-
But Oga refused. But the only thing he did was to make it look like, oh, he's apologizing but not apologizing. So you know those kind of statements where
So did he agree that he was wrong
during
or
that
something?
nah, he has never come out fully to say, oh, I am wrong. But he would just keep claiming that no, I only said what the audio said. I only stated what the audio stated. So he hasn't come out to just say, oh, I'm so sorry, oh, no vex, so I said this and that.
Well, the power of the hashtag, some people are overplaying it and they're using it in a way that's not bringing the effectiveness. Now, let's talk about the Nigerian government. We're not in any governmental position, but of course, we want to amplify the voice of the youth, hoping that the government will hear us. How do you think they should respond to activism and all of this? It should be something that let's just shut them down, bam, or let's listen to them. We saw the initiative of our dear president on Independence Day. What's it called? It's 30 day or that town meeting or something.
A town hall.
No, youth converb. I think it's the youth converb that
okay.
needed youth to come around. Like I see that people are always activating. I don't know I'm using activating, but okay, let's come around and discuss. You think that's a better?
Has that even happened?
Who do we ask?
That's exactly what I told you. And
Who
what's her
do
name?
we ask?
When we had that conversation, was
yeah.
it on the news or we had like we
that
talked
particular
about
story
it, right?
was on the newspaper during the Independence Day,
Aha.
and it was part of the speech again. So
Yes,
it was just
yes,
said.
yes.
We've not followed up to know
Yes.
if the meeting has happened, and we're also discussing that who would be the representatives of this youth that would come for the youth converb, 30-day youth converb.
You know, I was saying that day that it is one thing to come out and say, "Oh, this is the
What
plan."
if they are still in the selection process? They're still trying to get youth across the nation, so it takes a while. What do you
You see this hope thing? You and Hope is 5 and 6.
Yeah, that's my
But-
second name.
But see, honestly speaking, I don't know on social media. I really don't know what's really going on with this honesty and transparency thing. I don't know if you've seen it of late.
No, I haven't.
But let me now bring that mechanism, right? Now, as the government, right, as a leader of the nation and all, it is important that if you make it's just okay. Let me give this simple example. I am probably the CEO of an organization, right? And probably you're the manager. You're the one helping me just manage certain things. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, if I am making a law, right? And or maybe not even a law, but I'm telling you that okay, this is something that I want us to do. Does it not make sense that I put you in and say, oh, this is how the thing is going on? Do you understand?
Yeah, I get it.
No newspaper has carried it there. Oh, okay, this is what is going on right now. I am not saying that they are not working on it. Right? What I'm saying is
don't have
we
daily
need transparency in this country. We lack accountability, right? You cannot come out and say that okay, this is the new plan or this is the new strategy to get to the youth, and you're not giving us update on how it is going. And you think that somehow we would believe pressure is you and your hope, Sha. But me, I just know that we have an implementation problem in this country.
That's the implementation. But the motive, do you think it is a better way to address it?
Of course. I mean, when we had that conversation that day, I said it like, I mean, with Kiki saying that it is important that we not even choose the kind of youth. We should not go and bring somebody from one place and just say, oh, this
The
is
youth
a
that
youth.
are more in
Exactly.
tuned.
So we need to bring people that we are sure that, okay, would add value and would ask the necessary questions that is in the mind of every youth in the country, right? So all those things are important. But again, it is one thing to have a good idea. If there's no implementation, it's more like we are wasting our time.
Yeah.
So yes,
agree with that.
I
Very
understand
good.
it's a good initiative, right? But again, implementation. You cannot just come out and keep just giving us good initiative. Oh, we need long-term strategy. We need start working, bro. Not cha-cha-cha. Let's see the move. That's my problem, actually.
So as we wrap up the show, what do you foresee as the future of social activism in Nigeria? Will it eventually be scrapped out, or are we going to actually make waves with it and effect the changes that we want to see as we wrap up in 30 seconds?
I feel like we're already doing so well, honestly speaking.
Okay.
I feel like we are using the social media wisely. Let's forget some of the things I was here on TikTok and the rest of it. But I feel like we are utilizing, the platform very well. But again, it's not if you have the right people that are ready to listen to you, that communication
voices
will
will
be
be
passed.
heard.
Exactly. So it is one thing for people to be using the hashtag revolution now, but if you have the people that they are not ready to listen to you, it's more like you're wasting your time again. So I just hope that we find better mechanisms. The blog, whatever that I told you guys about, everybody knows this gist. So I feel like that's a better way. When you look for the weak points of this person's, find it, throw it to them. Trust me, they will do your bidding. So yeah, that's my thought.
All right, that's where we wrap up the show today. Social media activism in Nigeria. We've seen that it has probably come to stay and it will get better as the day progresses. Of course, this is how we end our show. Till tomorrow, our tech special segment. Please do not miss tomorrow for anything. Join us 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. again. Bye and have a blessed day.
Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Primetime. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?